Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Unstoppable Overcomers. Tonight, I have my amazing friend Vicky Parker, all the way from Chicago, Illinois, in the house, and I'm super excited. Actually, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't had anybody here since the pandemic has hit, other than family."
Wow.
So true. That's like I can't believe it. So before we get started into the show, I just have a couple things that we got to go over. We have to really thank our sponsor for the show tonight, which is Jen Zahari with her amazing book, Created No Way Out. It is based on a story of Faith, who's on the verge of ending her life and following decades of feeling unheard and unseen. Definitely an amazing book you want to get your hands on. You can get it on Amazon or jenzahari.com. We also, and Jen is also sponsoring her amazing coaching and consulting program with Strongholds Foundations, coaching and consulting. Definitely would love to for you to set up that 30-minute calendar invite. Jen is an amazing coach. She's actually one of my coaches, and definitely will put you in the right path. She has over 25 years experience. So definitely, if you're in the need of a coach, definitely somebody that you would love, that you need to get in contact with. And I have my copy of Created, so get yours today. With that, I'm super excited. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me here.
I can't believe this. I really can't. I've never had somebody on studio. My husband doesn't come in. So I'm super excited. And I'm going to bring our guest, Sherry Diamond, to the stage. Sherry, welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm amazing. What about yourself?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So, Sherry, tell the world a little bit about you and what you're up to.
Well, I live in Los Angeles, California, and one of the things that I really want to talk about with people today is, a few years ago, I went to the doctor and I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic. And my whole life, from being bullied, being overweight, a bunch of different things, the stories and the noise I heard from my family, all kinds of things led me to be a yo-yo dieter. And when I got the diagnosis, I was terrified. So I thought, this is my only option. I have to do something. I can't keep going forward like this. So long story short, I started to research food, and I found that the word inflammation kept coming up. So I did a deep dive into what foods those are. And long story short, in 18 months, I lost 103 pounds. I've kept it off for almost 4 years. And a few years ago, I created my program Balance for Life because I realized that people, when they're getting to be almost around 40, is when they start taking acid reflux medicine. They take medication for diabetes, high blood pressure, and those are all things you don't have to take medicine for. So I created the program. And then during the pandemic, right at the beginning, I got laid off my job. And I thought, I wrote this program so I can either keep working for somebody else or I can just jump off the cliff of life, which I did. And I started my program and I haven't looked back ever since. And here I am.
That is an amazing, amazing story. And, as a yo-yo dieter my entire life, I can totally relate. And Vicky's saying she's relating to that too. And what we haven't told the world yet is we're co-authoring a book with some other amazing women about body image. So I am super excited that you're our guest tonight because, that opens up that whole can of worms. And I believe as a woman, not that men don't go through that too, but for women, it's that, we carry that around. It's the extra, what does he think of me? What does she think of me type thing. And I think as women, we overthink it more than men do. So it's more of a problem for us than men. Although I did have a male guest on my show that he was very transparent in his journey of weight loss.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of those things I think at one time or another where we all go through it, but good for you for losing the 103 pounds and managing to keep it off for 4 years.
Well, thank you. But I will say that what's interesting is what I have found out from having a couple of male clients. I have more women than I do men. But the reason men don't do it is they don't want to admit that they're fat shamed too. They're just shamed in a different way than women. And men don't speak about it like we do. We go tell our girlfriends, we tell our moms, whoever will listen to us, right? But men don't do that because they don't want to talk about their feelings. But the other thing that you mentioned, Dorothy, that's really interesting is you said about body image, et cetera, and the way we're programmed, right?
Yeah.
But one of the things I do in my program, and the reason for it is I want people to live their life like I have my whole life from the inside out. Because, see, I was programmed to live it from the outside in, to marry the best person and go to the best school and have all the stuff and show your neighbors what you can afford. And that was never me. I never cared about money. I cared about emotion. I cared about feelings. I cared about people, and I cared about getting to know me. And that didn't play out really well for me. And it's okay, because now that I'm almost 69 years old, the people that are older than me or even younger than me, they're not happy because they were chasing all the stuff. And here they are now that they're my age, they're all on medication and they're miserable. Not all of them, but a
Right.
lot of them.
Right.
And so, living inside out is way better than outside in, because you might look great and have the best, body, but if you're on the inside feeling horrible every day and taking unwanted medication, that's not right. It's just not.
Right. That's totally true. And my dad passed away at 69 last year, and the amount of medication that man was on was unreal.
Right.
And I mean, diabetes, heart, stroke, pain, you name it, the man had it. But obviously not taking care of himself and doing the proper things necessary. So that's amazing. At 68, you figured it out, and, haven't had to use those medications.
Yeah, I don't take those medications at all. I take one medication every day because I have a bad thyroid. I have Hashimoto's disease, which is autoimmune, and I have to take the medicine. But I am going to say that my medication has gotten changed over the years from losing weight, which is good. And I'm hoping that maybe someday I can get off of it, but I don't think so. But if that's the only pill I take my whole life, then I feel like I am like golden.
Right. Exactly. I love that. So, you're also the co-host of B2D2 podcast. Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
I
know
love
that
it.
for sure.
And with Donna Needham, amazing woman too. I was actually on their podcast on Saturday.
Right.
Had so much fun with you ladies, and really appreciated being on your show.
Well, we loved having you. You were a really good guest, and it's like so funny. It's like, oh, I just saw her Saturday, so here we go. We're going to talk some more, and I was excited.
Exactly. I love it, love it, love it. So, how your program? Tell us a little bit more about your program and how you help your clients.
So I make it really easy. One of the things that I don't do is I don't do anything via video. I don't send videos. I don't send things for people to read. Everything is one-on-one with me, just like we are right now.
Right.
So what happens is people go to my website, or people get referred to me, and they either, if somebody referred them and they have my phone number, they'll text me. But most of the people will email me, and they'll tell me that they're interested, because on my website, it tells you all the different ways you can be on the program. You can buy my clean eating food list for $9.95, which is $9.95. And you can have at it and go live your life and follow the list without any coaching. And then that's it. However, along the way, if you find that you want some coaching one-on-one, I charge a fee, like a one-off fee, right? So if you say, well, I just want one coaching fee, you can get one coaching fee. Some people join the program, they sign up for 6 weeks, and some people sign up for 12 weeks. So what you get in the 6 and 12 weeks is I have a 15-minute free consultation, so I can find out where you're at, what you're thinking, what are your goals, what kind of medication do you currently take, and what has your eating habits been up to this point. Right. And then I designed the program, once they pay for the program, I send the food list. And the very first thing we do is we schedule our first one-on-one. And on the first one-on-one session, I go over the complete food list. So there's no questions about what you can eat or what you shouldn't eat. And I make recommendations based on the way they live their life, right? Their lifestyle. Right. And then every week we pick a day and we go over it. And that morning, the first thing I want my clients to do is weigh themselves. And then we discuss the week. And the one thing about my program that's really unique is, let's say you're on it for 6 weeks. 4 of those weeks is going to be tailored just to you, Dorothy. But the other 2 weeks I teach to everybody because it's something everybody needs to hear. And if you're on it for 12 weeks, I gear the first 10 towards you. And there's 2 weeks in between where it's what you need to hear. And there's things that we talk about that have to do with things that we've talked about over the time you've been on the course, if that makes sense. Because you find out about things as you uncover it. Like, I'll give you an example. There's a woman she's on my website, so I'm not talking out of school. Her name is Maureen. If you go to my website under the testimonials, you'll see her. I actually went to high school with her. And she reached out to me and said, I need to do this. And she was all like that. And I said to her, you're going to do really good on this program. And she joined and she goes, well, we'll see if I lose any weight. And she was like, blah, 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 like she's all, and I was like, and I just let people vent because they come to me because they need help. They can't do it alone. I did it alone, but was it easy? No. But was it worth it? Absolutely. But most people can't. So after the first couple of weeks, I saw her changing. Well, right now, today, she's been off my program for months. She's lost over 40 pounds. She takes in her own clothes. She goes on the elliptical for an hour a day. And before, she barely even exercised. And I don't make people exercise. Really, only thing I did for 18 months is I went hiking, walking, and I lift a little bit of weights. But you do not have to kill yourself in the gym. But you can do whatever you do to move. Just keep doing it at least 4 days a week. And now she's so happy. She looks amazing. And I kept telling her, you're going to turn into a little butterfly and that cocoon is going to leave. And when you get rid of it, and she did, and now she's all smiling and she sends me texts to let me know how she's doing. And we check in and it's really wonderful. But the other thing I wanted to say that I also send my clients is they're not sure how to prepare something. I send them recipes, and I also have a Balance for Life group on Facebook. And today I just posted a recipe today for salmon roll-ups, which is delicious.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you say the number one thing is when people come to you that obviously with weight loss, I mean, it's everything, everybody's at a different place. So what's the number one thing that you really need to drill into their heads that they need to overcome?
Well, first, I will say that maybe 80% of the people need to lose weight, because I have people that have been on the program don't need to lose any weight, but they have a lot of belly fat from inflammation, and they have no energy and they're always tired. And part of that is from food, because food is medicine, but food can also put you in a coma. Like not a real coma where you're out of it, but a food coma where you walk around a little hazy and foggy.
Right.
So to answer your question, answer your question, what is the number one thing I tell them to overcome? They have to overcome that there are going to be certain foods that they aren't going to eat. And they are going to go through the first couple of days, maybe a little detoxing. But when they get to the other end, if they just hold on for the first 7 days, I would say 90% of the people within 7 days already feel better because of the food. And I'm just going to put a side note that my primary care physician went on my program. She's a doctor. Come on. She went on my program. You know why? She told me, Sherry, I feel miserable. I can't run around and take care of my 5-year-old son. He's draining my energy, but I don't need to lose weight, but I feel bloated and miserable all the time. Mm-hmm. And after 4 days on the program, she's like, I can't believe this. I already feel better. I can feel the difference. Right. So when we say food is medicine, it is. Believe me, it is.
So what foods would you say to avoid then that would cause inflammation?
Well, there's a ton of them, but I'll tell you the one that everybody is amazed at and they don't believe me until they stop eating them. If you had to pick one food that most people eat at least every day or a few times a week, it's horrible. Tomatoes. Tomatoes are horrible. And the only way they do not cause inflammation is if you cut out every single seed. And I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of time.
I don't have that kind of time, and it's funny because I work for a greenhouse, and that's one of the things that we do have is tomatoes, and I just gave a crap load of them away today.
Well, I used to eat almost a basket of cherry tomatoes every other day because I
Right.
like them for a snack because they're crunchy. And when I was dieting, I used to think, I don't understand. I'm eating all these good food. Why do I still have a fat belly? So I would get thin, but my belly looked like I was pregnant, and I'm too old to be pregnant.
I know for myself that if I have too many carbs, like consecutive in a week, I know that for sure gets me.
But it depends on what kind of carbs you eat. There's carbs in broccoli. It's fantastic for you.
Yeah, that's true.
But the carbs that we think of that we want to eat are French fries, all the bad fried horrible foods,
Right?
and the sugar. And I am going to also say that sugar, I was addicted to sugar.
Yeah. I would say, yeah, if sugar is one of those things that, I go to the sugar-free chocolates and the sugar-free candies and stuff like that, but I think that's just as bad.
Yeah, because there's certain things in there there's chemicals. It's about the chemicals too. Because people say, oh, well, it's vegan, it's keto, but if there's chemicals in it, it doesn't matter. It's not friendly. It's not friendly food.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. That's I never thought of tomatoes.
Recently, I heard that tomatoes and eggplant.
Eggplant's horrible.
Yeah, and
so I'm going to tell you why. Do you know why? Did you read about why you shouldn't have eggplant?
Yeah, there's something in both, but
that causes inflammation,
like a barb, right?
And they're called nightshade vegetables, right? And nightshade vegetables are horrible for you.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the peppers, right? Like I know I like bell peppers, but the green and red or the red and yellow and orange, they're okay or no? Not at all.
None. Sorry.
And that's what I get every week.
And I love them. And I love all of that.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You eat all these foods. Do you feel okay? And are you healthy? And you feel fine?
Not currently, no.
Right. There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
So we like them and we eat them, but we don't feel good from them. It doesn't make sense, right?
No.
And that's the other reason why I'll never gain weight again. And I've kept my weight off for I'm going on 4 years. I'll never get heavy again. I fluctuate now maybe 1 to 2 pounds. That's it.
Wow. Interesting.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah. And you're feeling better than ever at 68 years old, right? So we think our youth
I have more energy than some 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll send my 10-year-old to you and see if you can keep up with them.
I can. Listen, I can still run around, play basketball. I can run. If you're chasing me, I can run away from you because I can run that fast. Yeah, I zip around. I have a lot of energy, and I will say too much energy for some.
Rock on.
Exactly. It's 68. Keep going.
Right. So I'm excited. Like other people are like, oh, I'm getting old and I'm this, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I like bring it on. I can't wait till 2023. I'm going to be 70 years old, and I'm like, bring it on. Let's go.
So what is your one goal when you hit 2023? What is it that you want to do?
I want to be able to either go to Disneyland or do something really fun with all my close friends.
Awesome.
Yeah, I want to have some kind of a party, but I'm not thinking that far ahead. I just know that even if I have to go alone, I'm going to do something freaking awesome. Because 7 is my lucky number. And everything good happens with 7s with me.
I love it. I love it. Well, we'll have to stay tuned for that. And we'll have to have you back on the show when you're on for your 70th.
Okay, I'm there. Let's book it.
And the beauty of the show is it starts at 7:00 Eastern time.
Exactly. You see, I'm not stupid.
Yeah, because you're 4 hours behind. So now you can go party and rock on after.
No, only 3.
3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah, you're like Eastern time for us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Love that. So I'm just looking over everything here. So what would you say? Sorry. It's one of those days. I had it and then it went on me here. It says here you're doing the exact opposite. Instead of most people stop working at 68, you're definitely,
oh, yeah, I'm still working.
Doing the complete opposite. So obviously this is what you love. This is what you're passionate about. What were some of the things before that you did before that you were like, no, I'm not doing that again?
Well, I have to say for probably 30 years, I was in some type of sales. When I was younger, I was in corporate sales. But see, the thing with me is I never picked just one thing. Like some people say, I'm going to be a nurse, or I'm going to go to school to be a journalist major so I can be in broadcasting. All I wanted to do was just work and make money. So the first 10 years I lived in California, because I moved here when I was 20, I had 10 jobs. And the reason is because somebody said to me, you seem very smart and very capable. I need somebody like you. Why don't you come work for me? I'll pay you more money. And so when my mom was living, my mom would say, oh yeah, all they have to do is give her the Jerry Maguire line, more money, show me the money. And there she goes. And that's what I did. But then I learned about sales and I got into sales and I loved it. And that's where I stayed for 30 years. But first it was in corporate sales. Then it was in makeup and skincare. And I became a makeup artist. So I love all of that. And now I help my clients only use clean beauty products, because when you live inside out, if you use cleaner products and you eat better foods, your skin and everything is better from the inside. And then the retail business was Amazon came along one day, and the retail business I could see going downhill. So I decided to get out before it was too late. And instead of standing in a retail store waiting for customers that aren't really shopping, I could do something else. So I answered an ad to be a salesperson for a orthopedic surgeon, which was crazy. And they hired me. And after 3 years, I was there for 3 years. Unfortunately, he passed away and they closed the office. So I went to work for a home health company. I worked there for 3 years. And during COVID, I got let go of my job. And I said, okay, I wrote this program and I went and tidied it up. And that's when I said, here's the jumping off point. The universe takes care of everything. This is why it's all happening to lead me here. So I either can go look for a job or I can just go for it. And that's what I did. And I haven't worked for anybody in we're going to go on almost 3 years. I've had my business 2 years.
So Sherry, your career took you through healthcare and through industries that had an impact on people's lives.
Exactly.
And you said earlier that you were really committed to making money and show me the money. And that was the thing that you really wanted. So when did you transition? When did you experience for yourself the transition from show me the money and I want to make a difference for other people? Or did it happen at the same time? Was that something
that's such a good question, because it happened about 20 years ago. Because I started noticing, like when I was in my 40s, I started noticing that people that had a lot of money or were killing themselves working and never seeing their family to bring home all this money so they could have all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
They were stressed out. And then when they start getting stressed out, the stress and the cortisol hormone kick in, and there's your start of inflammation. Really. So I start looking at it from that, and I started seeing people my own age group getting older, and they're not really happy, but they feel like they have to, right? And people would say, well, I know, but I have to take care of my family. I know, but I have to this. I have to. We don't have to do anything. It's a choice. And that's when I decided, I never chased that stuff. I'm living from the inside out. And that started me when I decided to do the program. This is going to be my mission. And I am going to say, one of the things that I'm not driven by in now is the money. Because what I found out is when you do the right thing and you help people, because I have had customers that would say, you know what, Sherry, if your program was just $50 cheaper, that $50 goes a long way for my kids' childcare. And I tell them, is that the only thing stopping you? Are you sure? Yes. Then I'll take less money. Will I take less money from everybody just because they don't want to pay? No. So I want to be clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to, if somebody's health is just wreaking havoc, it would be terrible for me to say, oh no, when you get the money, call me back. No, I want you to get healthy, because in 6 weeks, that money isn't going to change my life one way or the other, but your life will, because you're going to be feeling better. And that's way more important.
Right. Absolutely. I'm just going to go comments for 1 minute. Emily, thanks for joining us. There we go. Sorry, the internet connection's a little slow. And Russ is joining us. Russ had his 200th episode today. 200 episodes.
Wow. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Russ.
Yes. And Russ agrees with you. Everything is a choice.
That's right.
For sure. And I like what you said about that. Kimberly and I have a motto that no man or woman will be left behind. So, I mean, we're willing to meet people where they're at. And part of what she's in Florida right now, creating massive changes with our veterans. And so she's, and it's funny, since she's been on the road for 50 days. And
wow.
Just some of the things that her and I have been transitioning into is absolutely amazing. And Kimberly and Vicky and I are 3 out of 8 incredible women that meet Saturday mornings. That I don't know. I don't know what our official title is. I don't know. So Saturday Sisters, but we have such a connection that my husband for Christmas made us these T-shirts that say a big heart with the Saturday morning crew on the shirts. So
that's cute.
We're out to impact. And like you said, no person will be left behind. So we feel that, we will help people. We'll meet them where they're at. And Inger says, hello, Sherry, Kimberly.
Hello.
Hello, Inger. And the lovely Vicky is here from Chicago, surprising me today and coming here. So, yeah, it's been great. It's been a great day.
It has.
It has. Did you have a question? Did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
Well, listening to Sherry's story, and, Sherry, I agree with you. And Russ also said, yes, it's a choice. We really get to help people. We get to help ourselves. And I love that for you, the transition came well before you really transformed your own life through your program. And I love that you're so committed to your program that at 68 years old, you're like, I'm rocking it out. I'm helping people. Who else can I help? Who else can I help?
Why would I stop working?
Yeah.
And then what?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but what I was going to tell you is I went through, and this is something that really resonated with me when I found out about Dorothy, about Unstoppable Overcomers, is because when I was in my 50s, in 2006, I lost my mom. And in 2007, I told one of my friends, I feel like this man is coming into my life somewhere. I don't know where, but I feel him coming. And he did. But it turned out to be a disaster. It was a disaster where, almost like a drug addict, you have to be put to your knees with nothing to go to ask myself the question, and this is where the choice comes in. When I look back and I look in the rearview mirror, why is my life still like this? What am I doing that's not serving me, but I'm serving everybody else? And that's really when I started on this journey. And I said, 10 years from now, this is how my life's going to look. I don't care what happens. This is not me. I'm not living like this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not letting this define me. And that's what I did. So I took the journey. And I have to say that 3 years ago, I really finally came to the part of my life where I designed it 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Actually, it's about 18 years now, if I think about it. And I'm so happy because I did exactly what I told myself I would do. But I had to go through the gut-wrenching work of finding out what is it really and getting to the bottom of it. And once I did, that's why when you are overcoming anything, you can become unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, that leads into Vicki is it co-owner or co-founder, or what do you call yourselves?
I'm a co-founder of Fearlessly Unstoppable and Victorious.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have a whole community that Vicki is co-owner with, along with Kimberly and a couple
Kimmy
others.
and Steve and
Tell me
Valerie.
about it.
So I would love for Kimberly to talk about it as well when she comes on board, but we are out to cause 10 million people really, but we're starting with 1 million people living their lives fearlessly. And if you think about everything that has happened through the last couple of years, there's not many people that I can say I know, if anyone, who hasn't experienced some level of fear.
Right.
Whether they were comfortable with uncertainty and change, or whether they're not comfortable with that, they are experiencing something that's different that they may be fearful about. And it could be anything from bad things happening in their life, or that could potentially happen, or it could be simply the fear of the unknown. Could be the fear of trying something new, like skydiving, which Kimberly and Kimmy and I did a few years ago, gosh, already. And could be taking that next step like you did and creating a program and really reaching out and into your passion and digging in deep. Some people are afraid that they'll fail. So
right, but I am going to say the two things that I found out from digging deep within is the two things that will completely annihilate you from living your best life is you have to get rid of one or the other. It's either fear or control. Yeah. And for me, it was fear, but there was some control, but it was mostly fear. And the fear came from, what if I can't be controlled anymore? Because I've been letting other things or people control me, which I didn't realize until I really looked at it. And once I got rid of that fear, because as a kid, I never had fear. The only thing I'm really afraid of is I'm afraid to die in a fire. And I'm afraid of being thrown in jail, because I would be crazy if you left me and I couldn't get out and be outside all the time. Those are the kind of things. But other than that, I had to let go of the fear of what is everybody going to say? What's everybody going to think? And I finally got rid of that one. And that was the best thing I ever did. And that freed me to do that's why I believe that I am an unstoppable overcomer.
Absolutely.
Which is why you're here.
Exactly. And we wanted to say a hello to Dr. Christy. She is actually another one of our amazing 8. Maybe that's what we should call ourselves, the amazing 8.
I love it.
I love that too. And she loves your fear or control, and that's
what it is. They're the only two things that keep us from doing anything in our life. Because this is what I tell my clients. And I tell this to my friends and they go, I don't know what to do. I can't this, I can't. Yes, you can. So here's what I tell all my clients. So I'm just going to give you a little nugget right now. I call them diamond bombs. So I'm going to give you a really important one. It's for everybody. It doesn't matter where you live, what country, around the world. It doesn't matter. If you're human, it applies. And this is it. Write down everything in your life you want to do now or in the next year. And then cross out all of them that are not in your control. And the ones that are left are the ones you're going to go, oh, yeah, those are the ones I got to do. Because the ones that are in your control are the ones that you're doing and you're not getting anywhere because they're not serving you. They're serving everybody else.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. The other thing that I loved was that you said that you made a declaration several years ago that you weren't going to be living your life in the same way. And you knew, so you made this declaration out there into the future. And then you did what it took in order to make that happen rather than being, as I call it, a pinball, right? Getting kicked across the table and reacting to that and reacting to that and then reacting to that. And that's really beautiful as well. So
Thank you.
What I'm hearing is, make a declaration of what you want your life to be like. Follow the path that's going to get you there. Look at like what the gap is in there. And then also to really take a look at what do I have control over and what don't I? And then take advantage of taking control.
Right. And I also made a declaration about my health. Not only just my life, but I've made a declaration about my health and I say it out loud. And I'll tell you what it is. Everybody in my immediate family has died of cancer. And it all started with the inflammation and the bad eating and the high blood pressure and the diabetes and cholesterol and all of it. So my declaration for my health is that I want to be the first person in my family not to die of cancer because I've had it twice. And I am going to piss off the whole world and I'm going to live to be 90.
I love it.
You're going to piss off the whole world and what? Sorry?
And live to be 90.
Well, that wouldn't be pissing the world off.
Well, it might with some people.
Well, I could say that about me too sometimes. I'm sure that I'm not everybody's favorite sweetheart. Let me tell you.
Well, none of us are. But the people who love you for all of who you are, good, bad, or sideways, that's all that matters.
That's true.
That is true.
It's so interesting. I'm sure you've heard of Louise Hay.
I have not.
Oh, you've not? Okay. Louise Hay is basically the founder of the self-help movement. Oh. And she wrote a book several years ago called Heal Your Body and another Heal Your Life. And
Heal Your Life, I think I've heard of.
Yes,
I think I've heard of
it through affirmations, but I attended her 90th birthday party in San Diego about 8 years ago. And she's since passed, but she was living an extraordinary life at 90 years old, dating a younger man, still rocking her. Yes. And she has I'm sure you've heard of Hay House books.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So
that's her.
That's her.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome that you got to know her. What a great great person to get to know. Those are the kind of people I gravitate towards.
Yeah. Their energy is amazing.
Amazing. And infectious.
So Dr. Christy said she's jealous and you said that I got to know her. Well, I got to know her on the professional level where I attended the birthday party that I paid to attend. So it was a conference and there were many speakers and Susie Orman was there and she pointed right at me when she said, "Don't do it."
Oh,
there were a lot of really amazing speakers there.
That's awesome. So fun. Good for you. What an experience.
Yeah.
Kimberly and I are doing a 60-day challenge with Susie Orman right now, where we're declaring and writing out 25 times our declaration that we have for the next 60 days with, money, finances, relationships, health, you name it. So we're declaring it by writing it 25 times in the morning. We shout it out 25 times during the day. And then before we go to bed, we look in the mirror and say it another 25 times or silently. Lately, I've been forgetting, and then I get in bed. I'm like, I'm not getting my butt out of bed to do this. So I do it silently while I'm in bed beside my husband. And he's like, because he doesn't like noise. So I'm just like in my mind saying it 25 times. So it's just one of those things that we've declared on top of the 30-day challenge yoga challenge that we're doing with Carrie Stewart in the morning.
Wow.
On top of, oh my God, I'm just like,
so wait, Dorothy, do you really look in the mirror and say it to yourself?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do that too, especially when I do something wrong, or I think I've done something wrong, or my behavior wasn't correct. I look in the mirror and go, really? What were you thinking? You acted like such a jerk. I do that a lot. Not a lot, but when I do it, I really do it. And I give myself the,
Yeah. Dr. Christie likes our ambition. However, I did the 21-day challenge, the Louise Hayes mirror work. I did that for November and December, which made some major breakthroughs. And it's been, I've taken some of her affirmations and added to my daily. Like, I should be like an affirmation queen by now, you would think. And it should be so down in my subconscious. But like you said, it's either fear or control. And I have to say since Thursday, fear has crept in. But I'm detoxing that stuff. I noticed on Good Friday, I was doing like a detoxing of the old crap. And it's almost like I was dying. The bad parts were dying off that should be dying off. And I had declared by Easter Sunday that the parts that should be coming up would have been risen. And then today, I don't know what happened today. Today's just been like, I couldn't point what is like, I woke up tired, and that's not like me. I woke up completely tired. But I mean, it's been an emotional since Thursday.
That's probably why. But what I was going to say about fear is usually the one, not the control so much. It's the fear why we don't do what we're supposed to do. And the reason is because fear leads to other things, which is usually about the outside in, how we look, what people are going to say. And then that snowballs where other people are involved, where control, you're in control, or other people are in control. But fear brings up a lot of other things that control doesn't. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It totally makes sense. And yeah. And the thought, okay, so I will admit it, on national television, we're declaring this as national television.
Yes.
We're declaring this because we're going to be syndicated very soon. I can feel it in the marrow of my being. However, because that's one of the things I'm declaring, we'll be syndicated. And, Oprah is my mentor and the one I'm running after. So where was I going with this?
You're going to declare on national television.
Right. What was I going to declare?
About fear?
Fear versus control.
Fear, yes. Fear, control freak. That's where I was going. I didn't realize how much of a control freak I really am until the pandemic hit. And some of the things that had been coming up, but I am self-aware and I catch myself. And if it's something to do, if it's an apology needed to my husband, saying, hey, that I should never have said or done that, then I do make that. But I didn't realize, I think everybody knows my story, that knows me, that the way that I grew up with, my parents being ill and things like that, I was, controlling the household, taking care of the household, and doing things like that at a very young age. So I've been extremely independent since I was 3.
Right.
And when I don't my mom will be the first to tell you, if I couldn't help cook it, I didn't eat it. So I developed that at a very young age. And so growing up that way, and then, the last 10 years, leaving the abusive relationship and having my dad's health go from bad to worse to okay to bad to worse to okay to gone. It's I think the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm it was just one of those things where everybody came to me. So it's not that I wanted to control at certain points in my life. And there's certain things right now that I have control over that I just want to back away from. But unfortunately, I can't due to some other circumstances. Um, but I'm like, I don't want to be in control of everything. Like, I don't want to be that type of person. I would like people to take responsibility of what they can take responsibility for. And if you need help, that's great, but not for it to always be on me. And that's what I'm putting those boundaries up this year. And people might be getting angry with me. But the thing of it is, in order for me to be the best version of me, for them to show up, those boundaries have to be put into place.
Right. See, and when I was younger, I didn't have fear about anything. But the control part that I had a problem with was my mom would say, we're having company tomorrow. You better go clean the bathroom. And I'd be like, okay, well, they're not coming till tomorrow. I'll do it later. She'd say, no, you have to do it right now. And I'd say to her, if they're not coming till tomorrow, why do I have to do it today? You know what she would say? Because I said so. I heard because I said so 5 million times from when I was a kid. So that control. So I purposely would go, really? You'll see. And I would just go, okay, and walk away. And she'd go, did you clean the bathroom? I'd be like, uh-huh. She never even went to see if I cleaned it. And then when I felt like it, I'd go do it. And it was clean. She didn't know because she never went back to check anything. And when I finally learned that's right. How I knew how to get around that. So now you can't control me. I'm going to control you. And then when I went into sales, I learned a thing. The bell went off I went to a sales seminar and they taught me how to manage your manager. And I was like, yes, I like this a lot. How do you do that? Is it like when I manage my mom? Because I'm all in, right?
Right.
And then when I got older, it wasn't about the control anymore. It was really about the fear.
Right.
And I still don't like when people try to control me. But what I will say about that is, like, if I was dating somebody or when I was married, I want the guy I didn't want him to always go, well, what do you want to do? Well, you decide. No, I don't want to decide. You decide and tell me what I need to wear and let me just show up and you decide. And that's just how I am, but I don't like to decide everything because then I feel like I'm in control. I don't want to be in control of anybody's life but mine.
I love that. And you just basically commentated my husband and my discussion. Well, what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want to eat? I don't know.
Okay. Can I tell you how to get around that?
Sure.
Let's just say you decide, oh my gosh, you think about it. What do I feel like eating today? Do I have a craving? And maybe it's chicken. Maybe it's whatever. When people say to me, where do you want to go eat? Or what would you like to eat? This is what I say. I name 3 restaurants, 3 kinds of food. You pick whichever one, and whichever one you say, I'm good. Because see, most women, what they do is they say, pick one, and then you pick one and they go, oh, I don't really want to eat that. Most women do that. I don't do that.
My husband too.
Okay, so here's how you get around it, Dorothy. You say to him, honey, would you like to have steak, chicken, or whatever tonight? Which one would you prefer? He's got to pick one.
Right.
And then if he asks you, you tell him, I want chicken. And if he says, I want steak, well, why don't we have both? And he'll say, no, I only want one. And this is how you whittle it down so there's no fight. Right. And everybody winds up getting everything they want. And you can sit down and have a great meal.
I love that. And it's funny you said that because that's usually what happens. We'll sit there, look at each other because we're both stubborn. And then I'll say, okay, so here's 3 choices, pick one. And then he'll pick one out of the 3 if I narrow it down to 3. So
who does awesome. Most of the cooking? Okay, then you're in control because you're the cook. So you should say, I think tomorrow night I'm going to make stuffed chicken breasts and Caesar salad. How does that sound?
Yeah.
He'll tell you, yes, I'd like this instead. Then you put together a meal and there's no discussion tomorrow. And you don't have to look at each other like, what is going on? See, it's the questions we ask and the words that we say. You can get anything that you want in life. All you have to do is say it. But fear is going to keep you from doing it. You see, even about planning a meal.
Exactly. Yes, Tim, this is a real life person. This is my friend Vicky Parker, all the way from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm not a cardboard cutout.
It's a With that, though, I am going to bring on our amazing roving reporter, Miss Kimberly Genovese. Is she ready? Oops, add to stream. Sorry. Add to stream. There we go. It will work eventually.
I was ready.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
The internet, you know.
Oh, sure.
It's lovely when it works.
It is. It's lovely when it works, and it's lovely when it doesn't work. And Sherry, amazing show tonight. Like,
oh,
really,
thank you.
I'm just so taken back by, like, I am about to go on a 365-day walk with the Holy Spirit and turning my vessel completely over. And it couldn't be more perfect that this was our show tonight. So,
oh, well, what I was going to say is, you know, all of us are on a journey of some kind.
yeah.
You know, and we were talking about food and do we eat good and all this stuff.
Yes.
So what I would say to all of you is, if you or any of your listeners are interested in my program, if they get in touch with me and tell me they heard about me from either of you, I will give them a discount because you've been lovely.
Oh, fabulous. Well, God bless. And you ready? Sherry, are you ready to divulge
I'm ready.
fundamentals?
I am.
Everyone? Okay, great. Bring it.
Okay. So my 3 fundamentals are self-love, food is fuel, and truth and justice.
And would you like to say more about those? And
Well,
really
yeah,
use them as power?
Food is fuel. And the reason I say fuel is because it's really the gas in your tank. You know, people say to me, oh, I never eat breakfast. There was a time when I was young, I didn't eat breakfast either. And if I did eat breakfast, it was a donut, right? But when you stop doing that and you have breakfast, you start craving breakfast. Breakfast is amazing.
Yes.
And the other reason I say fuel, and you're going to laugh, but when I used to hear the saying, food is medicine, I wanted to punch somebody. I'd be like, oh, stop telling me about food is medicine, because, you know, I weighed 233 pounds. I don't want to know food is medicine. So now I say food is fuel for those reasons. But truth and justice is, you know, like I said about fear and ego. And if we don't get real with ourselves first, we can't be real with anybody. We can't be in a good relationship. We can't do anything positive unless we love ourselves first, right? And you don't have to be egotistical about it, but you have to wake up and say, I like me today. And the things I don't like about me, I'm going to change, but I recognize them, right? Because nothing happens overnight. Yeah. And the self-love is, you know, I've always thought that I was a good human, and I love good humans, and I gravitate towards people like all of you that are doing things like that. But self-love comes in the form of inside out, really.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, one of the things I like to share with people about self-love, it's like, Sherry, what's something that you really love about nature or an animal or anything?
Okay. So every day, just so you know, I go out, I put my headphones on, I put on a playlist, and I press shuffle every day. I have no idea what I'm going to listen to. And I go on a walk all over outside in my neighborhoods. I live in a really beautiful area, and I go up in the hills. I take pictures of flowers. I'm obsessed with nature and flowers and hiking. And if you go on my Sherry Diamond Facebook page, you'll see I post all of that stuff on my personal page. That's what I love, being free and being outside, because I'm still like the little kid. Like, I wake up every day, I'm happy and I'm ready to go. And when I was a kid, I was like this. Let's go. Yeah. Good morning, right? Yeah. Let's get up and let's go. Yeah. And that's what I love about it. It is. Yeah. I'm still like that. I'm still that little kid running through the flower field.
Thank you. And that's self-love. That's loving your life and the gift that life has to offer you now and now and now, and loving it, and loving that you get to do it, right?
Right.
Like, that's what self-love looks like. So thank you for really bringing that home for everyone. And about injustice, what would you like to say more about injustice?
Okay. So ever since I was a kid, if my mom said, I don't know why you did this. Or I think you might have left this out or didn't close the refrigerator. I go, Mom, it wasn't me. Are you sure? I think it was you. I used to fight to the death. If you accuse me of something I didn't do, oh yeah, that was it. And I'd be like, I don't care what you think, because as long as I know the truth, I'm good with that. But then when I got older, not so much. I lost myself in other people. Right? And then I got myself out of it, and now I'll never go back because now I know all the signs.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So what you're pointing to with the injustice is very similar to the self-love, is when you know your truth, stand in it, no matter what anybody else says.
Absolutely. But I think there is one other component. And for me, it's being like, I'm a firm believer the universe takes care of everything. And I'm a big believer. And like I said to you, 7's my lucky number. And I go with that. So when someone says, what day do you want to be on my podcast? Or what day do you this? I say, can I be on it on the 17th or the 27th or the 7th? Right? I do all that. And I manifest things in my life that I want, and they happen. Because I said, okay, if the universe wants me to have it, I'm sure of it at this age. Everything I'm supposed to have, I've gotten. Everything I'm not supposed to have, I haven't. But every lesson I was ever supposed to learn, oh, trust me, no matter how I found it, I learned it. And I'm still learning. And that's the beautiful thing about self-love and life.
Yeah. So great.
But you have to listen.
Yeah. And really listen, right?
Well, we see signs, but we don't pay attention. And I say this all the time. We listen, but we don't always hear.
Right.
And we look, but we don't always see. And there's a difference. And when you tap into that, your life can be golden.
Amen. Amen. Preach it, my sister.
That's right.
Fantastic. Well, with that, Dorothy, the fundamentals are complete tonight, unless Vicki on an impromptu might have her fundamentals ready. Does she? Does she? What would you want the world to hear tonight, Vicki? What would you say are the 3 things that are most important for people to have fundamental?
Yes. So to have fundamental, people need to be free. They need to have the experience of belonging. And the experience that no matter how they self-express, that they'll be accepted for who they are, not for someone's expectations of who they should be.
Amen to that.
Preach
being
it,
seen and heard.
Love that.
Beautiful. Perfect. Perfect. Well, now with that, Dorothy, I turn the show back over to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And you are just glowing, my sister. Like, you are just like, woo. I declare we need to get our butts to Florida now.
Right. Well, there is a very significant difference in our coloring from Kimberly's coloring.
From Kimberly's coloring. This is like a white, like
it snowed
really
today. It snowed today.
I keep hearing about that. My husband sent me a picture of the snow on our deck. But, it speaks to this show. And it's a great way to close out the show is, because of this show and me being the roving reporter and being on location and being here in Florida, supporting our community and our guests, I am glowing because I'm present that I'm on mission and I'm on course and I'm unstoppable and I'm overcoming and I'm inside the fundamentals. Right? So
that's awesome.
This glow is from this show and the community that's in it. And I love you all. Mwah.
Bye. We love you. So with that, I just want to thank our amazing friend, Alexandra, for showing up
I'm
tonight.
from Ohio, Alexandra.
What is wrong with me?
That's where I'm from, Ohio.
Oh,
cool.
Ohio.
Where in Ohio?
I was born in Cleveland.
Oh, not far.
Cool. And I'm trying to get Tim's
thing today with people from Ohio. What's with Ohio? I love Ohio, by the way. Oh no,
because all the good people are from Ohio.
And thanks, Tim. We do have amazing guests. We have amazing guests on the show, and everybody is truly amazing and unstoppable. And we had alluded to the fact that there is a private community that is growing, the Fearless, Unstoppable, Victorious community. I knew there was a word I was leaving out. So if anybody would like to be
it's
part
not
of that, yeah.
Let's be
If
clear.
anybody would like,
open to the world.
Exactly. So yes, if anybody would like to join that community, put in the comments join, and we'll get you the link to do that. And I just want to thank all of our amazing people for showing up in the comments tonight. Everybody's saying fantastic show. So ladies, it was a fantastic show. Everybody in the comments, it's just like going crazy here. And Sherry, we just want to thank you for joining us tonight, bringing your sunny disposition from California. And Vicki,
I would like to acknowledge you, Sherry, really, for bringing forth your passion inside of your transformation and sharing it with the rest of the world. That is being fearlessly unstoppable and victorious. And we appreciate who you are. And if anyone is interested in contacting you, we'll be putting your contact information in as well so that they can get that list.
Okay, good.
Healthy.
Well, it was so nice to meet all of you. And Dorothy, as always, like now I feel like I know you, you know, because we've shared a lot when you being on our show and me being on your show. So this is really cool. And I'm going to keep in touch with all of you because what you're doing resonates with me on every level. And you know what? Here's what I'm just going to throw out to you. If you need my help for any reason about anything, it doesn't even have to be Balance for Life. Please call on me because I would love to help you. Because that's my thing is I want to share the gift because we have to share the gift of everything we know with other people. Because if we don't help other people get better, we can't get better.
Sherry, do you hear your phone ringing?
No, it's on mute.
Because we have a lot of stuff we're out to create. And so part of being on this show is we just don't leave it here. You're part now of the family. So Kimberly will be following up with you this week and letting you know what we're all about, what is on our agendas and how we can help you. And like you said, you wanted to help us. Trust me, we've got things in the works that you can help us with.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we have.
We're excited now.
And we're excited.
Yeah, because I want to share the gift, whatever that gift is. I want to share it.
Great,
perfect. And we will be in contact with you this week for sure to let you know what's going on. And just want to, if anybody who saw the beginning credits for tonight, I just want to say we need to give out a massive shout out to the amazing Brenda Warren for doing that introduction. And you know what? Just because I love it so much, we're going to play it again. Because
Dorothy, you know I was crying when I saw the horses. First of all, the music, bomb. And then I'm like, oh, there's my babies. There they are.
And then I'll tell you what the song is in just a minute. But I'm going to play this one more time for those people that missed it. But stay tuned 1 second. Wasn't that amazing, folks?
Yes.
So if you need an introduction, let me know. I will get you in contact with the person that did that for us. It was like amazing. Like I get
amazing, as Carrie would say.
Amazing. Yes. Amazing. So I couldn't overstep that. I wanted to honor her. She definitely has been excuse me, in our hearts. She had a couple of her animals pass away, and she needed something to get her mind off of everything. So she's been helping us with that. So again, Brenda Warren, thank you so much. We appreciate you. You did a fantastic job. That was like unbelievable. And yes, hearts out to Brenda Warren. And again, Sherry, we thank you so much for being here and
Thank
sharing
you.
your heart.
It was such a pleasure with all of you. It was amazing. I had the best time.
All right, folks. With that, stay unstoppable, and we'll see you next Monday night. Bye for now.